Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Thursday, June 20th, 2019. Today there's MLB, WNBA, and of course the Travelers Championship in the PGA. The date numerology for today is 65, 38, 20. And something to observe about 20 is it's the date numerology also on the 20th of the month. And this will be true through the 29th. Tomorrow, the 21st, I'll have 21 date numerology, 22nd, 22, so on, all the way through the 29th. For about 2 weeks, the date numerology has not been real consistent. I know at some point it's going to get back in the groove, just like this happened earlier this year. It's like the train derailed, but then it got back on the tracks and things were great for 3+ weeks. It's going to happen again. I'm watching today to see if the 20s come through because it seems like, now is the time. Now, notice the Indians are trailing late. If they can rally and win, they will get their 20th away win. But like we talked about yesterday, it would make a lot of sense if the Indians won yesterday and the Rangers today. So just because the Rangers win today, it doesn't mean that the date numerology is off. It just could be because the riddles for the Rangers, like we talked about yesterday. But if the Indians do rally, I won't be shocked at all because they pick up that 20th away win on the 20 date. So looks like the Indians they're down to their last 4 outs. We'll see what happens. A lot of games are shifting in the 9th inning. The 2 early games today, notice there's potential 20s on the board for both. The Indians can pick up the 20th away win. The Rockies could pick up the 20th away loss. But like we talked about yesterday, we like the Diamondbacks to lose yesterday to set up today for them to lose again. The Diamondbacks can become 38-38 today, and today has 38 date numerology. Adding insult to injury, Colorado equals 38. They're the 38th state. On the mound today, Jeff Hoffman for the Rockies. It's 163 days after his birthday. That's the 38th prime. On the mound for the Diamondbacks is number 38, Robbie Ray. So it's just a 38 show. Plus the Diamondbacks play the Giants next, and Giants equals 38. If they lose today, they'll go into that Giants game 38-38. Now, what could hurt the Rockies today is if they do lose, they'll pick up the 20th away loss on the 20 date, and they would stay at 39 wins against Arizona. Still, with all that 38 on the board and the way 38 plays with Colorado, it's hard to imagine the Diamondbacks escaping the fate of 38-38. The Rockies are missing their shortstop today. He's injured, one of their better players. He's out on the 10-day IL with a thumb injury. One other thing about the Diamondbacks is on the 169th day of the year, they picked up their 169th loss against the Rockies. Yesterday, the 170th day of the year, they picked up their 170th loss. Today's the 171st day of the year. They can pick up their 171st loss. We'll see if it follows the perfect pattern. And that's another thing to keep in mind. A lot of times with a series, we get the first 2 games right, and the pattern we follow breaks in the third. Not always, though. This Astros and Yankees game, not much to dig into. It's the anniversary of the death of Justice for Jr., and if you can remember his funeral, everyone was dressed in Yankees jerseys. If the Yankees win today, his name will probably be brought up if you're watching the game. If the Yankees do win today, they'll take the Astros, who are on 21 away wins, into tomorrow staying on 21 away wins. Tomorrow has the 21 date numerology. Also, Valdez, who's on the mound for the Astros with a loss, becomes 3-3. New York's 33. I think it's very possible that the Astros lose for those reasons. The Phillies and the Nationals, with regards to the 20-date numerology, notice the Nationals can pick up that 20th home win. At the same time, Pivetta for the Phillies can get his 20th career win. What's interesting about both starting pitchers is today's 126 days after Pivetta's birthday. Phillies is 126. It's 115 days after Fedde's birthday. Philadelphia 115. If the Nationals did lose today, they would become 6-5 versus the Phillies for the year. Remember, Philadelphia is 65. The city's established on the day, leaving 65 days left in the year. Yesterday, Washington won both games of the doubleheader, and both starting pitchers for Washington by winning became 6-5, just like how nearly every Phillies pitcher has become 6-5 at some point during this season. Philadelphia in 65, big number. So more is going against the Nationals here Phillies can stay on 20 away losses, but again, anytime you can pick up the win that goes with the date numerology, that riddle can bust all other riddles. So I'd be careful with that game. The Angels and the Blue Jays are on the verge of being swept again. If the Angels lose today, they are 38-38 on the 38 date in Ontario. Ontario equals 38. Notice they can pick up the 20th away win or 20th away loss. Typically, when a team can get the win and loss that matches the date numerology, so 38-38 on 38 date, typically that does happen. There's not many examples I can think of where it didn't go that way. That said, we are in a 2-week stretch where the riddles just aren't coming through that normally do come through. So, again, I'm just doing this each day until I say, okay, things are back on track, green light. Right now, we're in the testing process. This Marlins-Cardinals game is very interesting. Zach Gallen is making his major league debut. He was actually drafted by the Cardinals, and he's been lighting up AAA. He has a 9-1 record, a sub-2 ERA, a gazillion strikeouts. So he has the makings of a potential ace in the league. You know, he has better stats than most minor leaguers do. And very interesting that he's making his debut against the team that drafted him, the Cardinals, and he's also making his debut on his 322nd day of his age, old 322. Wainwright's back off the IL, so he could be rusty. Remember yesterday we said if the Marlins don't win, they'll have a good shot tomorrow. Today's the Marlins' 73rd game. 73 is the 21st prime. They can stay at 21 away losses. That would take them into tomorrow, the 21 date. Also, this is the 199th game between these two teams. The 46th prime, the Marlins can stay on 46 losses in this game. The pitcher's name, Zach Gallen, equals 36 like Miami. If he delivers the loss to the Cardinals, they'll pick up their 36th loss against the player they drafted. The biggest concern for the Marlins is they can pick up their 47th loss, and St. Louis equals 47 would be a fitting city to get it in. And if the Marlins didn't win, they'd stay on 26 wins. It is June 20th, 6 plus 20, 26. It's also the 101st game in St. Louis between these teams. 101's the 26th prime. And I might have forgot to write that down. Let me make that note right here. 101st game in St. Louis. 26th prime. Marlins on 26 wins. But this reminds me of Game 2 where the Marlins got it done. They had some riddles going against them that game. They still got it done. So Marlins, they are a risk-reward. They'd be a nice payout. The Reds are on a winning streak. The Brewers are on a losing streak. This losing streak and winning streak could be extended this game. The Reds, if they win today, they stay on 38 losses on a 38 date, and they go into tomorrow, a 21 date, still on 21 away losses. The pitcher for the Brewers, Jimmy Nelson, his name equals 149, which is the 35th prime number. Notice the Brewers can pick up the 35th loss. The Reds can pick up the 35th win. Christian Yelich, today's 197 days after his birthday. That's the 45th prime. Major League's 45, Brewers 45. If the Reds win, they'll be on a 5-game winning streak, and the Brewers would be on a 4-game losing streak, 4-5, 5-4. So, again, there's no clear read with the date numerology other than assuming that if the Reds win, then they go into tomorrow still on 21 away losses on the 21 date. The Mets and Cubs looks like one of the clearer reads of the day. Chatwood for the Cubs is going for his 48th career win. New York equals 48, and the game's 48 days after his birthday. He doesn't start a lot, so it seems like he's been put in for this ritual. Also, the Cubs are on 171 home losses against the Mets. Today's the 171st day of the year, so if they win today, tomorrow we'd have to consider that. Tomorrow they could potentially pick up their 172nd loss at home on the 172nd day of the year. And by the way, with regards to it being the 171st day of the year, that's the 18th triangular number. Baseball's 18. There are some 18s on the board today. The Rockies, for example, can get their 18th away win. It looks like the Indians are going to go down. They can get their 18th away loss. So, see, it's not over till it's over. Um, you see here. Which game are we on? Okay, the Twins and the Royals. So this is a 4-game series. If the Royals lose 3 of 4, they'll get to 52 losses. Minnesota's 52. I think that's very possible. Been a big number with Minnesota this year. It would make sense for the Royals to win one of the first 2, and the reason why is because if that happens, the Royals would be 5-2 against Kansas City for the season, kind of like 52, 5-2. So the question becomes, do the Royals win today or do they win tomorrow? And we did look at tomorrow. It was hard to get a read. Something that stands out is Jake Odorizzi, who's been an ace for the Twins. If he did lose today, he would fall to 10-3, like 103. Kansas City Royals equals 103. 103 is the 27th prime. Royals equals 27. So, again, it's a risk-reward shot. Minnesota's a big favorite today, but that 10-3 gives a little reason to believe in KC. The Rays and the Athletics, not a lot to bite into. If Charlie Morton loses, he'll be 83-83. Charlie Morton does equal 83. He could become 83-83. So that's one thing. The Athletics, they are 2-1 against the Rays this year, and those games have all been played in Tampa Bay. So they won the series in Tampa Bay, while Tampa Bay was playing well too. If the Athletics could win the first 2 games of this series, they'd get to 41 wins, and they would become 4-1 versus the Rays on the year, and Oakland equals 41. I think there is a good chance these teams split the series and go 2-2, because then the Athletics would fall to 4-3 against the Rays for the year. Tampa Bay Rays 43. Yesterday, CC Sabathia became the 14th pitcher to achieve wins and strikeouts, and he did that against the Rays. Tampa Bay Rays 43, the 14th prime. We know that 43 plays with this team. The Yankees and Rays series just began with both teams on 43 wins. But just looking at the pattern that it could go in, if the Athletics took the first 2, again, they get to 41 wins and become 4-1 against the Rays on the season. Montas has been great at home. Charlie Martin's been very good this year as well. So it is a tight one, but I'm leaning Athletics to take the first 2 for that 41 tribute. Oakland's 41. Now, this Giants-Dodgers game, again, Madison Bumgarner, it's been 33 days since Madison Bumgarner won. And his next win will be, let me make that note right here. Bumgarner last won May 18th, 33 days ago. That was against the Diamondbacks. He got his 113th win. And his next win is 114, and San Francisco Giants equals 114. The last time Bumgarner faced the Dodgers, he only gave up 1 run and got no run support, so he got his 89th career loss. That was against the Dodgers. Los Angeles Dodgers is 89. I'm wondering if today he can avenge that loss and become 114 and 89. And by the way, the only run scored off him last time was a home run by Max Muncy. Max Muncy equals 114. He had the winning hit in the 114th World Series in the only game the Dodgers won. But Bumgarner, you got to think he's going to get this 114th win. They're saying it's near the time the Giants are going to trade him. He's going to go to a contender. So I'm imagining that Bumgarner will get his 114th win. He's played his whole career with the Giants. San Francisco Giants 114, and then he gets traded, and he gets traded to a contender, and whoever gets him, he'll likely get that 115th win with. And keep in mind, this is the year of the 115th World Series. And remember, there's 3 teams in the National League that have a 115 connection. He could get traded to the American League, but Assuming he gets traded to the National League, there's 3 teams that have the 115 connection. Philadelphia equals 115. Miller Park equals 115 where the Brewers play. And St. Louis equals 115. Think about the connections with the Bay Area and Philadelphia. If Bumgarner goes to Philadelphia and picks up his 115th career win there, I think that would be another great sign that the Phillies are the National League World Series team. They're playing mediocre through this first half of the year, but right now is the time of the year it doesn't matter. Baseball is all about who gets hot, late summer, early fall. It's always that way with baseball. And the Phillies, if they get Bumgarner and he pitches lights out for them, he's got the World Series experience. The last time the Giants won the World Series, I think Bumgarner pitched every inning. But anyway, Bumgarner's got to get that 114th win. His next start would be against the Rockies. Colorado Rockies equals 89, so if he stayed on those 89 losses, that might make sense. He might not even pitch by the time he faces the Rockies. He might be on a different team. But I just keep thinking that 114th win has to be symbolic. It's important. And who would be a better opponent to get it against than the Dodgers? Great rival of the Giants. Again, the team that was in the 114th World Series. So it's definitely, I wouldn't call betting on the Giants tonight a safe pick by any stretch of the imagination. But it does seem to be the team that would make the most sense for Bumgarner to get his 114th win against. And if he doesn't get it here, it's not going to be against the Dodgers. So for that, to me, I would take the risk on Bumgarner. Here's everything that goes against him, though. It's the Giants' 73rd game, the 21st prime. They could get their 21st away loss today. The Dodgers win, they stay on 25 losses. Giants equals 25. Bumgarner loses, he becomes 3-7. Los Angeles 37. So there's a lot there that causes concern. But again, if it's all about Bumgarner and the symbolism of 114, this seems like the appropriate opponent to get that win against. Bumgarner for his career is 9-8 versus the Dodgers. If he did lose, he would become 9-9. Bumgarner's 99. When you write out 13, it's 99. Of course, LA's 13. If he wins, he's 10-8 though. 108, Major League 108, 108 double stitches on a baseball. Something else. If the Dodgers lose today, they'll be 7-6 versus the Giants. San Francisco equals 76. Dodger Stadium equals 76. Something that goes for the Dodgers. If the Giants lose, they'll be 2-5 at LA this year. Giants 25, and the Dodgers would stay on 25 losses. So really, the piece of information that's probably best to take away, more important than betting on this game, is watch what happens to Bumgarner. Does he finish his career with the Giants with 114 wins? Does he get traded after that? Who does he go to? Because he's going to pick up his 115th win with that team in the year of the 115th World Series. And based on history, I'm guessing that team's going to be Philadelphia. So we'll see. And the Orioles and the Mariners, I expect the Mariners to win the first 2 games of this series. The reason why is the Orioles are chasing that 22nd win. They've lost 8 straight, right? If they lose 10 straight, when you write out 10, it equals 39 like Orioles. We just saw the Athletics pick up their 39th win against the Orioles in the last game of the series. We saw Boston pick up their 39th win against the Orioles in the last game of the series. Today, Dylan Bundy can become 3-9. The Mariners, they're expected to put in a middle reliever to start and then bring in LeBlanc after an inning or 2. LeBlanc will come in 42-42, and he's 3-2 for the season. He'll probably get the win today, and if he does, he'll become 4-2. Orioles equals 42. So this pitcher can be 3-9, Orioles 39. LeBlanc can become 4-2, Orioles 42, coming into the game 42-42. If the Mariners win 2 in a row, that makes the Orioles, that keeps the Orioles at 21 wins today and through tomorrow, the 21 date numerology, and then that sets them up to get their 22nd win on June 22nd, which is a date with 22 numerology, and that will be a day game. And the Orioles can become 9-23 in day games with a win. They're 8-23 right now. 23 the 9th prime. The Saturday game's a day game. So I like the Mariners to win 2 there. I like the Cubbies today. And a lot of these other games are they're tight as we went over. But there's ways I'm leaning on the games. If the Indians do not get the 20th win, which it doesn't look like they will, and if the Rockies don't get the 20th loss, I would fade the 20 today. And it looks like we'll have to keep waiting until the date numerology becomes, consistent and starts hitting like it typically does. So, things to look for. In the WNBA, again, it is the 23rd WNBA season. The season began with the Atlanta Dream. They got the first win of the season. Dream equals 23. A lot of teams that have had a chance to become 2-3 in a record have. There's only been a few games that skipped it. So the Mercury with a win today would be 2-3 away, like 23. That would make Dallas 1-3 at home. Dallas equals 13. So I think there's some promise there with that. The Mystics with a loss would be 2-3. This Aces team has a connection to 44. I haven't seen the Gematria and date numerology really hitting with WNBA. I was just looking for a consistent pattern, and so far in the 23rd WNBA season, 23 seems to be where it's at. Between these two games, if one's more likely to have the 2-3 pattern, it does seem the Mercury getting to 2-3 makes a little bit more sense. Just because, again, the Wings play in Dallas. Dallas is 13. They can fall to 1-3 at home. So Dallas is also 22 if you use the rule for S, but Dallas in 13 plays a whole lot more than 22. So there's that. And we did look at the golf tournament early in the day, and we noticed that the people up on the leaderboard early on day one, Amar, Burgoon, was it Keegan Bradley? Another guy who was just up there, they all had connections to the number 41. And remember, this tournament ends on a date with 41 numerology. So I think that's an indicator that the 41 connections are going to play in this tournament. So keep an eye on 41. 41's the 13th prime. And again, the tournament ends on the 41 date. So we'll leave it there. Be back tomorrow, same time. And yesterday it looked like baseball was getting a little bit more on the track. So I feel like things are coming back. We're getting out of this lull. Things are going to get good again soon. Going to keep an eye on it until it does. All right, good luck, Truth Seeker. And, be sure to tune in Monday, because Monday I'm going to have all my football notes done. And this year I'm going to give you guys a really awesome guide that's going to make it so easy to track football for the whole season. I want to make it so everyone can follow along and not have to do a lot of grinding each work on Sunday. I've been putting in a lot of work, and I should be done with what I'm working on come Monday. So I should have the link Monday, and then we'll start just going over it piece by piece and as we build up to the season. All right, good luck, Truth Seeker.